Live from the Export Beer Garden studios, this is the feature-length agenda for Thursday, the 7th of September.
The Agenda, an alternative commentary collective podcast.
Hey, g'day there. Welcome along to the Agenda podcast on a Thursday. Myself, G Lane, Matt Heath, and Manaia Stewart. G'day there.
Good morning.
G'day there.
You've recovered from the vid. You're looking good. You lost a bit of weight while with the vid.
Yep, the vid, and then I had the shits. So, it's been good, actually.
Oh, speaking of the shits, now I'm going to open up with this one here. A flight travelling from Atlanta to Barcelona had to turn around last Friday. Where were you last Friday, Matt Heath? Due to a biohazard event, a passenger suffered a severe case of diarrhea that affected all the way through the plane. The plane was already 2 hours into an 8-hour flight from Atlanta, Georgia to Barcelona, Spain, when it made an unexpected U-turn. In an audio transmission from the cockpit, a pilot can be heard telling air traffic control, "This is a biohazard issue. We've had a passenger who's had diarrhea all the way through the plane. So they want us to come back to Atlanta." Now, here's some audio from the pilot's announcement.
Negative. It's just a biohazard issue. We've had a passenger who had diarrhea all the way through the airplane, so they want us to come back to Atlanta.
See this? This is my worst nightmare.
So 2 hours into an 8-hour flight, they now have to do a U-turn, so that's another 2 hours minimum. So at that point, you're on there for 4 hours. Would you just keep going? Or
that's my thing. I asked the passengers. I think I'd just hold my nose and go rather than turning around, rebooking the flight, being on the ground again.
Well, in my mind, this is what I've got in my mind, is from one end of the plane to the other is a Jackson Pollock of poo.
Yeah,
it's all over.
I've seen the footage of it.
Oh, have you?
Yeah, Barstool Sports put it up.
Oh.
So someone filmed it, and so all you can see, this is after the plane's cleared, and all you can see is down the aisle, they've tried to put like towels down, bathroom towels down, but there's like a bathroom, there's like a patch every, I'm going to say, 1.5 feet, all the way down the aisle. So this guy's had an absolute shitter.
Or girl.
Legitimately. Or girl. But it's just been like boom, 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 boom. It's in a spasmodic pattern, but all the way down the middle of the aisle. It is a freaking, the humiliation.
What were they wearing that it was able to, or had they done so much already in their seat that they had to get up and take an all-American shit the entire length of the plane? This would only happen in America as well.
Yeah, well, because we've done a whole week on this on the Matt and Jerry show. We've really leaned into it. And a caller rang up who had asked to go to the toilet and take off and been told they couldn't, and was actually sweating and was held down, but then exploded all over the seat.
Not this person, a different person.
No, this is a different person. This was a New Zealand flight. And guess who was sitting beside this passenger? Helen Clark. So this guy exploded in his seat beside Helen Clark on takeoff.
That's good. It does remind me, though, not to this degree, of that infamous flight from Dunedin to Auckland in 2019.
That's a totally different kettle of fish.
Okay, a Beer Fest, 2019, Dunedin Beer Fest. The best beer festival in New Zealand, in my opinion.
But definitely upsetting to the stomach, a beer fest.
Yes, I mean, 2 days. Matt and I were emceeing the stage.
On the
crafties. A lot of crafties, so much crafties.
A lot of pork belly.
A lot of pork belly. And
Smash
about
burgers.
15 minutes into the flight, Matt Heath, you see him get up and shuffle to the front of the toilet. He was midway down the plane, and we were like, uh-oh. He was in there for quite some time. Joe Jury and I were timing it, and he snuck in there. And, when you're in the front toilet, everyone's looking at you.
Yeah.
And you came down, and you walked past us.
Yeah.
And what you brought with you from that toilet, it was the biggest drag punt of a dump you've ever. And you dragged it down the plane, and people were visibly going, oh!
Yeah. Oh. Okay, but in these situations, and I admit that I should have gone in the corridor, but I didn't need to at that point. In fact, I think I already went in the corridor anyway, and I understand that I dragged a lot down the plane, but it didn't help. And this is when you expect your friends to support you. I didn't expect you and Jeremy Wells to be standing up, pointing at me, going, "Yuck, that is disgusting. You freaking stink. You've dragged that out of the..." What about some support?
Out of the bowels of hell. Well, you have stitched yourself up there by using the front bathroom. Front bathroom is for when you know that it's going to be a quick little wee. if you're going to, summon the grog monster, you need to go down to the back of the plane where no one can see you, and you just make awkward eye contact with the air hostesses back there. Then do your business.
It's really a stage, isn't it? That front bathroom. Yeah. You're walking out into the limelight.
Yeah.
Everyone's looking at you.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, that's me. Yeah.
Raise your bat.
Yeah.
Celebrate.
I should have owned it, actually.
Well, you turned up.
I should have walked down going, you like that? You like a bit of that? I got more where that came from.
Should have just started shaking people's hands.
Yeah, there you go. Thank you. I wouldn't go in there for the duration of the flight. Okay, yep, plenty more to come.
Oh my
Craft
God.
beer, eh?
Do you remember that video of the guys walking up the aisle going, I want to shake your hand. I want to shake your hand. He's been kicked off a plane for having a fight with someone, but he wants to shake their hand. Maybe he's actually just turned up in the front toilet and he wants to celebrate with all the people, so that's why he's going through, I want to shake your hand.
Well, that's what that lady did when she said, you need to get off this plane, it's going to crash. That she'd already done that in the toilet.
Right.
That was
she
her
the one
way.
who said, that motherfucker back there is not real?
Yes.
Yeah.
She wasn't
I saw her. She's been interviewed again since then.
Yes.
Said it's ruined her life. Well, it's like, I don't think you got some other issues going on there.
Yeah, I mean, what do you mean? Like, I can't believe that became a thing. What do you mean he's not real? I need more explanation than he is not real.
100%. I need some context.
It's such a weird thing to say. There'll be a movie about that. He's not real.
Was it you in the back seat, in the back of the plane, and you've just turned up in the back toilet, and now you're shaking people's hands? She's like, that motherfucker back there.
It should be like, that was unreal.
Yeah.
Right, let's get into it. I'm gonna skip down to item 6 actually, Adam here, and big news. This is big news in the world of media because Murray Deaker is back.
Wow.
So it's called Murray Deaker Sporting Lives, but it kind of looks to me like Murray Deaker Lives, Sporting Lives. But here, listen to his trailer.
Hi, Murray Deaker here. I've been interviewing the biggest names in sport for 40 years, and now I'm back with a brand new podcast. Murray Deaker's Sporting Lives will interview legends of sport, uncovering their stories. It'll be full of memories, theories, and opinion, and it won't be full of nonsense. New episodes each week on iHeartRadio or wherever you get your podcast. Murray Deaker's Sporting Lives, brought to you by Gold Sport.
Reasonable read. He did say podcast, but that's fine. You let that go through the queue. Is he taking calls?
Wait, they've missed a huge trick. It should be called Murray Deaker Yours Please.
Oh, Murray Deaker, yours please. Or Murray Deaker, no league, thanks. No. He'll be furious. Murray Deaker will be coming off the back fence with this Waz situation.
Oh my God.
Is this why he's come out of retirement?
No,
this is why I don't talk about league. No calls, thank you very much. I brought up league and no one rings through. Okay? So that's why I don't do it, and I take a lot of heat for not talking league because no one cares.
The trailer, the cutting room floor from that trailer apparently is quite good. Like he drops the no claptrap.
Yeah.
No nonsense, no claptrap.
We've got that covered.
Well, we've got the claptrap. If you want claptrap and nonsense, you've come to the right place.
Is that what people want in sport? Just a very serious, grim approach
I
to sport?
don't understand this, but the mainstream sports media does such a good job of choking the fun out of sport that we can even exist, you know?
So anyway, his first episode, you'll love this. His first episode is interviewing Laurie Maines.
Oh, Laurie Maines and then Grizz Wiley next week.
So next week, each and every week, we're going to bring you a segment called Yours Please, which is going to be out of context Deaker.
Yours Please.
And let's hope he doesn't drop another N-bomb like he did back about 10 years ago.
Yes, he worked on some of his sayings about what people do in wood piles because I think...
I had to...
When he said that was a common saying, I was like...
no, it's not.
No, it's not.
You have not worked...
That is not a common saying.
It's not working like that.
No.
I had to refamiliarize myself with Murray Deaker because my memories of him and my dad listening to him, you know.
Yeah.
And so I Googled him and I was like, that's yeah.
Anyway.
It would just be so good if he was taking the calls and just the first call was a really nice call where you lead him down the garden path. And then you get him somewhere and then you go, you're a bald cunt. Hang up. He goes, okay, very well done. You got me there. And the way he got me there was because he seemed sensible for a while there. So he led me into that. So very clever. Well, yes. He actually made some good points and that kept me talking to him.
Funnily enough, Matt, that was a great pastime of everyone during the early 90s. And here is a compilation of people.
We got it.
Yeah, here we go. Here's the first one where he calls him the bald cunt.
I hate that static ball when we watch halfbacks trying to organise things. I reckon that's the worst element of rugby union.
Yep, you're right. You're definitely right on that. And I'm just saying you're a bald cunt.
I thought you were going to try that.
Here you go. This is
Hello,
good.
Joan. G'day, Rob. How are you?
I'm
G'day, Murray. Long-time fan of your show. I just wanted to comment on the Blues game last night.
Please do.
Okay,
How old are you when you lost your virginity?
Can't get you there, Rob. I seem to lose something there, or you lost yours.
You lost yours.
Trish Allen is at Biomag. Trish, what's the deal?
There you go, this one here. This is a good one.
Like you, what I've seen of the new rules, I'm quite happy with. I don't have a problem. Sanjay, what about you?
yes, good morning. Sorry, Murray, I just wondered if you thought that there was a resemblance.
Beg your pardon?
A resemblance.
To what?
A resemblance between a rugby ball and your head.
Why is that?
Because that both of them are kind of big, and I think once I saw your head and it had stitches in it, and the resemblance was actually quite amusing, I thought.
Sanjay, do you have anything else, or any significance or importance that you wish to say?
Yes. Now that I have been on the air, I've been waiting to get on the air on the ears. I'd just like to say, fuck!
See, the thing
he was terrorised.
The thing about Deeks was he refused, in the world of broadcasting, and this is lifting the covers a little bit, on Talkback, they have a delay. There's a delay system in there, which means you can, if someone drops an F-bomb or a C-bomb, you've got about 3 or 4 seconds to press the dump button.
Yep.
And what happens is then it doesn't go to air. Murray refused to use the delay. And I think word spread around the prank callers and students of New Zealand. And on a Saturday, hungover or just about to climb into a session, and I'm guilty of it. I did it as well. I prank called when they interviewed Dan Vittori. We just lined up and just kept asking him the most stupidest questions. And Murray goes, I think most of these callers are your friends, Daniel.
Well, didn't you get rumbled famously, G Lane, for ringing and prank calling?
Oh, yeah.
But that was when you started working for the company, so your number was in the system.
Yes.
So after a number of prank calls, someone just said, hey, Lane, your number's coming up when you call.
I got that. Said me. I got an email on Monday and it said, hey, look, we know you're calling. Because we had a game. Where, and I lived on the North Shore, and I flatted in the North Shore with a few guys. And the rule was when you crossed the Harbour Bridge, you called ZB. And you had to call ZB and you had to talk about any topic that was happening at the time. And I got busted because Paul Burrell, Diana's former butler, had just released a book. And they were climbing into the book and Princess Diana and everything like that. And I remember calling up and talking about this and then just finishing it with, yeah, I mean, look, he was a long servant of Diana and a trusted friend. And look, we all know that he was tearing the back clean out of Diana. And then that's when the email came on Monday and it said, hey, Lane, you've got a company phone. The numbers come up. It comes out. It's been marked. We've cross-referenced. Can you stop calling ZB? And it's like, oh yeah. I was 20. What? I was 22, 23. I knew no better.
Do we need to bring this back though? Do we need to start doing this again?
We need
But
to.
you're back on the North Shore.
Yeah, every time he crossed the bridge, you call ZB. Oh my god, it was some of the stuff was. I need to buy a burner. If I'm going to do it, I need to buy a burner phone.
Well, but hang on, we've got an army of listeners out there who could be calling in. I imagine Deaker's going to bring in some sort of caller segment to his podcast.
He has to. But the thing is, he'll control it though, because with podcasts, you ring up and you record it. Yeah.
Well, it just adds another level of complexity. But I reckon if you can still sneak one in there.
Yeah. Okay. Right. Well, let's get into the agenda. All Blacks, Manaia Stewart. I don't know if you know Matt Heath, but Manaia Stewart, he picked the exact 15 that is playing on Saturday.
Yep.
He's got sources. I don't know where his sources or who he's self-sourcing, but he managed to pick the exact 15 with a couple of injuries.
Well, it's 2 weeks in a row now that I've successfully picked 24 hours ahead of the team naming with shocking accuracy. It's quite clear that I can predict the team list. But can I dictate it? That's what I'm starting to wonder. What impact does my team naming have on the actual team that's being named?
Hey, can I just say something about this team? I was talking about today on the Matt and Jerry show, and I'm a little bit concerned.
What's your concern, Matt?
Well, is that the greatest type 5 of all time going into a World Cup?
Certainly the back two. I think Scott Barrett and
Whitelock,
Captain Caveman are world class.
Yeah, okay.
I think Cody Taylor is up there, but I think our props are potentially.
Yeah, I'm just looking at that going, where are World Cups won? And I'm looking, so I'm just looking at this in segments, right?
Yeah.
And I'm going, is that the greatest? Do we feel comfortable there? And then you go to the Lucies and you go, do we feel like it's a bit of a journeyman Lucy situation.
Oh, no, I do.
And then you go, Aaron Smith, absolutely fantastic. Richie Mo'unga, I'm in there, and we're always going to have great running backs. But then you go, without Geordie Barrett, do you go, is that a fantastic midfield? And I'm just going through everything, and I'm feeling like, I mean, obviously we're not always going to have 2015 and even 2019. We're not always going to have teams like that, and it's difficult to compare them, particularly to 2015 But is anyone else just looking at that and going,
I would ask,
is it, in each of the important segments, are you seeing something that is filling you full of confidence?
Well, the French media say that this is the weakest All Blacks team that they've ever faced, so they're certainly going down the same lines as you. I would ask you, if not for Nepo Laulala, who would you start in the front row?
Oh, I'm not saying that there's the selection problem.
Right.
I'm just saying it's an era problem.
Cattle.
Yeah, I see. I see what you're talking about. But
I'm just saying. I'm looking at that. I wouldn't change anything apart from obviously injury situations.
But France are missing.
But I'm going. I don't know. I mean, just doesn't. None of the areas feel like the greatest in the world.
Like it's fizzing up its bunghole.
Yeah.
I think the back three will surprise you. Having three big number sevens playing in the loose.
I thought you meant the outside backs.
Yeah. No, the outside backs as well.
But we're always going to have great outside backs. I mean, we've got outside backs to burn.
Princess Mark Talia.
Yeah. I don't think we never get. Although it looks like Scotty J Stevenson, there's potential they might be taking.
Well, Nada was out.
Nada was out. So you might get. I'd like to see Scotty J Stevenson over there.
Yeah, absolutely. But they haven't named a replacement.
So what you guys are saying is it's just a typical All Blacks fan before a World Cup suddenly getting the shits and looking at his team and going. Because remember how scared we were going to the final of the Rugby World Cup in 2015 when we were over there. We were on the bus, heavily drunk, and we were going, "Oh no, Pocock! Oh no, Hooper!" We were we were living in fear. And then it came to the game. It's like, oh, these guys are muppets. We're smashing them.
I think it's something that is happening to me with the Warriors this season, where you find it harder to rate your own players because you watch them week in, week out, and you're like, oh yeah, he's okay, he's like this. But then when you look overseas, you're like, fuck, Cheslin Colby, we don't have a Cheslin Colby.
Yeah.
They're looking at us being like, we don't have a Will Jordan.
Yeah,
that's
right.
that?
Yeah, I mean,
But we've just
my argument involves not mentioning Aaron Smith, Richie Mo'unga, Will Jordan,
Sir Bowden Barrett.
yeah. And Scott Barrett, and Sam Lowe. I'm having to not mention a whole lot of people to put my piss week chicken licking narrative across.
Exactly.
It is. Everyone's weak at the knees. Everyone's weak at the knees at the moment.
I mean, our bench would walk onto any other first flight team as well. Lester Fainganuku can't get on the field to start a game, and he was the best player in Super
Rugby. But then don't
Rugby.
get me started on the bench. I'm also worried we don't have the monsters coming on.
Well,
we don't
have monsters off the bench, like
South African theory of replacing an entire forward pack. With 20 to go.
I think that's smart.
Swap.
Yeah.
Well,
right at the start of the first half as well.
Yeah.
And back to your point last week about my point weeks before that, that's how the game is, and that's how you should play it. If you're allowed to carry 8 dudes on the bench, why not a full platoon swap? Because that's exactly what your opponent doesn't want to see, is 5 fresh beasts coming out on the field.
New Zealand generally does not accept the drop kick as a legitimate way to score, but we will do it if we need to win a game.
Yeah.
We have done it.
Yeah,
we did it in the 2015.
Yeah.
Off the wrong foot.
Off the wrong foot.
Well, not to win a game, but
them.
Yeah, just to rub it in. We've got the All Blacks live and free commentary on Saturday morning at 7 a.m. All Blacks versus France. It's also on Radio Hodaki as well. So if you want to listen to it on terrestrial radio, text north to 3483 or south to 3483 to get all of the Hodaki frequencies and tune in. Otherwise, search Alt or Alternative on iHeartRadio. It's free, it's live, it's Matt Heath and myself, and it's the opening game. It's France versus All Blacks.
And let's just say that the FM syncs up pretty nicely with vision.
Perfectly.
Syncs up beautifully. Can I also just say that the test pots for the Dulux Painted Black competition have all been sent out now.
Right.
So if you've entered that and you've got one coming your way, don't forget when that shows up, make sure that you paint something.
Yep.
$6,000 worth of prizes to give away for that. So
Panasonic flat TV, a soundbar, headphones, the whole shebang, $500 for the Dulux product.
Yeah.
Yeah, shit, yeah. And the Waz. You've talked about it all week on the Hodaki Breakfast Show, Matt Heath. It's the double ender. It's the double ender, sporting double ender on Saturday. It's the All Blacks at 7 a.m. and the Waz at 6 p.m.
So I've got. This is what you need to do, people. So you record the Black Caps playing overnight. Mm-hmm.
I'm saying stay up overnight. I'm calling it the Glass Barbie 24 hours.
Oh, the Glass Barbie 24 hours is a good idea.
It's the Le Mans.
Another option is you watch the All Blacks and then replay the Black Caps all day and then go onto the Wars and have a Super Sports Saturday.
Okay, that's the non-Glass Barbie version.
Yeah.
I was going to go
because the Glass Barbie version works great, except for that big gap.
Yes.
You've got the Whakamana version.
Yeah. And you're going to go out and assault someone in that gap.
Yeah.
You got to go rob a bank.
Yeah.
And then come back and watch.
Punch a bus driver and then
steal a motorbike and take your kids on the run.
You'll be in the drunk tank for the.
That's a great idea. That is a much better idea than my one, because I was going to suggest the Glass Barbecue 24-hour Le Mans, where at 10 o'clock on Friday night, the first ball of the one-dayer against England, go through the night, somehow survive during the day. And then hit the wires, and then basically collapse at 10 p.m.
That's the hard part. And it'll be easy to not see the result of the Black Caps, because just by virtue of the two other games being actually significant games, the Black Caps will be a media wash. No one's going to be mentioning it. It will like it didn't happen.
Yeah, no, that's a great tactic, because I know Mash was talking about it on your show. But he wants to go play golf on Saturday. I was keen to as well. I think that's stupid.
Yeah.
I think that's just going to tuck him out and I won't make it to the wires.
Yeah.
It also doesn't slow the drinking down, going to play golf.
I've booked an all-day table at the Morningside Tavern.
Okay, well, I'll bring my kids and see you there.
Yeah.
Can they replay the cricket all day?
That's what I was thinking. Maybe I'll ask them to do that.
Yeah.
Because that'd be fantastic. So
how have they not thought of it?
So where are you guys watching the Wires? Do you want to? Because I asked if I could watch the Wires around at Jeremy Wells' house, and he said no, he'll be lying on his back really strangely flat with a red wine beside some Louis Vuitton cushions by himself in a Hosking style.
I've got the kids
yelling at the weird parts of the game that no one normal would yell at.
While his wife pretends to film him from behind a pot plant when he actually knows that she's right there.
Yeah,
I've got the kids, so I'm available. The wife's away, so I've got the kids, and they're keen for some wires.
Oh yeah,
yeah. They yell up the wires at me as like it's a swear word.
Oh, you come
go to bed. They're like, the wires.
I'll book a table.
Okay, done.
Book a table. Let's make a big Wires evening. Of course, I won't be going to the table in the morning because I'll be commentating.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. But hey, I'm booking it all day.
Just touching on the cricket, and we'll move to the cricket. Obviously, we've got the commentary of the Wires, 6 o'clock, Sky Sport 9, Manaia and Kesey on that one.
I've got a table booked right here.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
But the cricket...
Would it kill Bars to do the proper commentary at Bars?
I know. Do you know what? I'm going to start calling people out. I'm going to call the first pub out, the Empire Tavern. They didn't even play any commentary.
That is fucking bullshit.
And the whole area, the whole front bar were like, commentary. And like, we wouldn't mind if it was 4 or 9. We didn't care. But they went, nah, I don't think people want to hear it. And I was like, I left. I was like, you know what? Like, what's wrong with you?
Look out the window.
And look at
Wires fever.
They had 7 TVs playing it in the bar, and they wouldn't. And instead, they have some soft rock in the background. I was like,
I was in Queenstown a couple of weekends ago, and the Wires were on at a bar, and there was a DJ going. The whole bar was packed full of people trying to watch it. And there was this guy with headphones on going, this big set, and he just wouldn't turn off. So the whole bar up sticks and went to another bar to watch it with the commentary.
It's so mental. They did the same at the Bullock Bar in Wanaka. I was like, they played the first half, and then a DJ came on, they had karaoke. I was like, can you not wait 40 minutes?
No, we booked this in 3 months ago, and this is the only weekend that they could do it, so we're going to bloody play it.
I don't understand.
I think the South Island is... Maybe they can get away with it because they're sort of warming up on the Warriors a bit more. But in the North Island, what are you doing?
Particularly in Auckland.
I have good news.
Auckland, God's sake.
I have good news, though. We have something in the pipeline, a venue in the pipeline that will play commentary, ACC commentary for every sporting event. Just watch this space.
Ooh. Okay.
Able to fit 300 people in it.
Oh,
huge tease.
A huge tease. It's coming soon. It'll certainly be ready for the final of the Rugby World Cup, and will certainly be ready for Super Bowl next year. It's gonna be good. It's gonna be good. But speaking of the cricket, I has given so little media that I completely forgot that the T20 series was only a 4-match series. So I was like, I think I said yesterday on the Daily Agenda, can't wait for the decider.
I know. How fucking stupid is that? Like, I get it. Why maybe sometimes you have, and I find this so frustrating when you have a 2-match test series. I mean, what are you freaking doing? But I get you're basically in the country for 3 weeks, and that's hard to book someone to come down here for 3 weeks or whatever. Yeah. But you can't book another fucking T20.
Like they could have played it
2 days in a row.
They could have played it after it. Yeah, we're just going to stick around
morning
and
night.
We're going to do a decider. Okay, who's keen for that? And they're like, yeah.
Well, let's just have a look at the Women's Netball World Cup that they've just had over in South Africa.
That was 15 hours.
It was a school holiday program. 100%. They smashed it out. And
they ran it like it was the deadliest catch. They're going to set their pots through the night just to make sure they can get back to...
It was like the Billets were going on holiday and they had to get everyone back home to their houses.
Yes.
why can't they do that?
I don't know.
They're cramming.
Hey, I'd like to add another hot take going back to the rugby.
Oh.
Why can't we? The Rugby World Cup's too freaking long. No one can go to it because what period do you go to? I mean, if you only go to the end,
Farmers, retired people.
Yeah, retired people, and even then they don't know which section to go to.
Well,
so you're either there for, could we not just have bigger squads and play midweek games?
Well, have a look at us. We're going over there for a week. There's not a game on while we're there. So, and we can't be the only people in that situation.
And we're a commentary collective. We should know. We should be better at booking our sporting trips than that.
Look, our grasp on schedules is very lax.
Look, let's be honest. It is an Export Ultra Beer Garden tour.
Yeah,
it just so happens
nothing
to do with the Rugby World Cup. Okay,
Absolutely nothing.
They cannot
to do with it.
Yeah,
and
you
if
cannot.
we sort of end up being around for some games later on, that's a massive coincidence.
Yeah, absolutely. And if we happen to film a bunch of content from Paris, which happens to have Le Coupe du Monde in the background, then that's nothing to do with anything else.
You know what I'm saying? Like you could do the seeds or whatever, but like maybe that's just part of it, that you have to take a big enough squad that you play 2 games a week, like a touring team. When the Lions come down here, it's not the same team that's playing provincial rugby in the weekend.
I agree, because particularly after this France game, which is going to be a ripper on Saturday morning, everyone's looking for probably the most anticipated World Cup opener for some time. We then play Uruguay, Italy,
and Namibia.
Yeah. So it's another month of us going...
But and also the other opening games, I think, aren't South Africa playing Scotland, and the Wallabies are playing... Who are they playing?
Maybe Japan? I don't know.
So yeah,
something like that.
So there's some real nuffy games going on.
Yeah, it's I agree. It's probably the longest world tournament.
We could knock Namibia and Uruguay out in one afternoon. Just
yeah, line them up one after the other.
We just get them done.
Yeah,
it's like a T20. Let's just get them out of the way one day.
Or with a mercy rule, if we're up by 20 at half time, they're out and the other team comes in. Plays the second
you've got
half.
a bit to go. Yeah.
You guys have a crack.
Yeah,
righto. Hey, something interesting during the week, Matt Heath, you would have been over this. There was a tease on Radio Hodaki on social media around a launch of a new product, a new edible product.
Yeah.
Now, all it said was it was a blurred out picture, and it had the tease, something big is coming on September 11th. Now, we all looked at this from the ACC and we went,
is that a threat?
Interesting choice of date. And you know what? The listeners came through with the comments.
I went straight to the comments because I was going to comment, I hope it's not a plane. But I was beaten to the punch because this comment from R. Schulte, he just said, could have used this warning 22 years ago, but cheers. 2 planes that crash into 2 chip packets. It's a wide open for ridicule, this one.
I don't know who did that launch date, but
well, it's got nothing to do with me.
Oh yeah, right, of course. But it provided us with an afternoon of a lot of fun.
I missed that.
You can't launch anything and tease it with something big is coming on.
Something big is coming on September 11th.
It's a real oversight.
That's great.
Is it someone else has commented Building 7? do your own research into that one.
Oh, geez.
An explosive new product.
Yeah, it is.
Do you know what the new product is? Have you been privy to have you been taken behind the scenes?
Well, I think we're still teasing it, but I think accidentally it's gone out on a lot of ads already. You know how sometimes you've got a big tease that's coming up.
What about, yeah. Well, how about...
And then someone books the schedule.
Trailer
this seems to happen all the time. And then you're doing your big build up and you go boom, 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 and the text comes through. You've been running an ad on this for last month on the Mike Hosking podcast.
How about some clues? Can I ask you a couple of questions to give them some clues? Does George Bush know about it before it comes out? Supplementary question, Your Honour. Can it melt steel beams?
Yeah. Is it an inside job?
It reeks of an inside job, I've got to be honest with you. Whatever's coming on September 11th, it reeks of an inside job.
Stinks. Speaking of inside jobs, behind the absolute scenes, New Zealand's most controversial sports documentary series is back for a second season. Episode 2 is out today at 4 p.m. Here's a little teaser.
Taking potentially the world's biggest fuckwits overseas.
I'm not going to mention anything about psilocybin or truffles or anything like that.
I stayed pretty clean and behaved myself.
There were some incidents, certainly, in that segment of the flight.
It was total carnage.
We descended into hell.
The safety videos on aircraft, they didn't have to do that prior to that.
The plane's going down, mayday, mayday.
Where the fuck am I?
So there we go. In honour of the Rugby World Cup starting, that one covers our trip to the Rugby World Cup in 2015.
Oh, my God.
Not only the flight over, which was a charter flight, and anyone who's been on a charter flight, which wouldn't be many people, that's the only one I've ever been on, there is no rules on a charter flight.
Is that right?
You
There's
can
no
just
rules.
drink straight from a tall ginger man's bottle of champagne for hours, just standing anywhere you want on the plane.
Oh, my God.
You can pack a scrum down. We played a lot of code up and down the aisles.
There's no, because it's a charter flight, there's no members of the public who aren't there for the same reason to either go to the Rugby World Cup. So
I would argue that everyone else on the plane fucking hated us, though.
No doubt. I mean, there is. If you watch this if you watch this series, they hated us with so much passion. There was probably, I reckon, we probably had 5% on our side. So I reckon if there was a fight, it was basically 50 versus 500 kind of situation.
Well, there were people that had paid $25,000 for their trip.
Yeah.
And
some larrikins are packing down a scrum.
Oh
my God. I can't believe we got through customs in Los Angeles.
And London. London was worse.
London, my God.
But
what is wrong with customs that they let us in?
I've got a couple of questions on this. One is this why the Warriors have chartered a plane to get over to the semi-final this weekend? So that they can just get on the lash on the way over there?
Did you hear our interview with Rocco Berry the other morning?
No, I didn't. Rocco's Modern Life.
Yeah. Yeah, we asked
What
him
did
a
he
few
reckon?
questions, but he was short with us, actually.
Was he?
Really?
Yeah, we said, were you getting on the bubbles? And I think it was because we interviewed them on their way to training.
Yeah, right.
And I don't know if Rocco Berry, I haven't heard him do too many other interviews, have you?
Oh, I don't think I've heard him talk.
No, I mean, of course, son of the great All Black. So
I think after that interview, I still haven't heard him talk.
Yeah. Yeah, he didn't talk in that interview.
Maybe he's gone to...
Who cares? It's not his fucking job to talk.
It's true. Maybe
to show up on the wing.
Maybe it's maybe he's gone to
on the wing.
Is he?
Yeah, this game. Yeah,
let's play. Maybe he's gone to the Colin de Gronholm Media Training School, which I think we should open.
Yeah,
the Colin de Gronholm Media Training School.
Him and Colin de Gronholm in a conversation would be fraught.
As the one rule, just shut the fuck up.
No, monosyllable, one answer.
Yeah.
Yep. Nope.
My neck piece.
Yep. Player of the day, century. Of 670 balls.
Supplementary question about this episode of the Behind the Absolute Scenes.
Yes.
Is it wise to be releasing this before our flights to the upcoming 2023 Rugby World Cup? Is there any chance that this could jeopardise that?
Well, we're flying Emiratis, aren't we?
Yeah, so if anyone from Emirates happens to watch it, then Manaia, yes, there could be an issue.
We're in trouble? Okay.
Yeah, there could be a target on our back. But saying
you
that...
can do anything you want on first class, though, can't you?
Yeah. Wow. I don't think we're first class.
Are you in first class, are you?
Yeah. No, we are.
I assume I am.
We are 100% cattle class on Emirates.
We were comparing our tickets before.
Yeah.
And actually, I think you're sitting in between Mike and Joe.
Yes.
And then I'm across the aisle.
Yeah.
In the aisle seat.
Well, at least I got someone to cuddle.
Yeah. It's a great sandwich.
Are you allowed to arrive in Dubai with a massive head of steam up?
No. Okay. I've told the story of Beat Feet Pete.
Yeah.
I used to live in the Middle East. I lived there for 2.5 years. And do not, you can arrive drunk, but just hold it together.
Yeah.
Right.
And a lot of Brits don't, okay?
Yeah.
He was a contractor. He was coming over to help run an event over in Dubai. And Pete had a big flight, 6-hour flight from London to Dubai, had a big one, got off, started mouthing off, and all the customs people are all local Emirati. They're all in their dish dashes and everything because they're all the government jobs. They're all run by locals. They've got a sense of humour, but not when you're hammered and you're yelling abuse at them. And he stunk a piss. And anyway, he started an argument. I think it was Visa or something. Anyway, had a huge argument. Might have called them a few names, made fun of their dish dashes. Anyway, and he got pulled aside. Got pulled aside.
No matter what you've been drinking or not drinking.
Yeah, but they'll target you if you've been a smart ass and you've been drinking. Anyway, they took him to a back room, stamped his passport and said, "You're free to go. We'll give you a lift to your hotel." And he said, "Oh, these guys are friendly." They proceeded to drive him about 10 kilometres out of Dubai in the desert. They beat his feet until they were swollen, took his shoes, chucked him in his suitcase and drove back to town. And from then on, he was known as Beat Feet Pete. And Beat Feet Pete, he did not touch a drop in his 6-week contract in Dubai.
That's such a funny punishment to beat the soles of someone's feet.
That's a desert punishment.
It's archaic.
This was about 20 years ago, but obviously, I mean, things have obviously changed. Just don't turn up steamed.
Just the water for me, thank you.
So once you're in there, because I've got a week-long stopover there in Dubai.
You're in there, you're fine. You just got to be sensible. You can't be seen to be drunk in public. Okay,
Yeah,
so
right.
the hotels are insane. the hotels, they have like 5 different bars and a nightclub in them. So they've got an Irish bar, they've got a whiskey bar, they've got a cocktail bar, they've got a rooftop bar, they've got a beach bar, they've got a pool bar, and they've got a nightclub.
This is entrapment.
Yeah, and you stay in the hotel and you have a great time.
Yeah.
Just don't make love on the beach.
No fucking on the beach, okay? Just don't do that, okay?
Think once, think twice, think don't fuck on the beach.
Right,
Yeah, okay. Just leave any sort of intimacy to the hotel room.
Yeah, right. What about dudes? Can you bang dudes over there?
100%.
Yeah. Go for your
Yeah,
life.
no, you fill your boots.
Yep.
Very open.
But then again, if you
On the
want to,
beach?
and you
No.
got don't touch the beach.
No, not the beach.
And the other hotels have all got the same. So you can do hotel crawls, but you just have to leave the hotel, get in a taxi, even if it's 200 meters down the road, and go to the next hotel. Don't walk around.
Yeah,
Don't
right.
be tempted to swing on a giveaway sign or steal a road cone or any of that kind of tomfoolery that we get away with in the West. Otherwise, you will be banged up quicker than Julian Cleary.
All right. A ban on tomfoolery.
Okay.
So no nonsense and claptrap over
Did
there.
you mean Julian Cleary or did you mean Julian
Assange?
Assange?
Oh, both.
Both
make sense.
banged up like Julian Cleary.
Julian Savia.
Oh, like
Julian
Julian
Savia?
Savia. Oh, maybe Julian Cleary. Who's Julian Cleary? Oh, he's the
Wasn't he the talk show host and the
Yes.
BBC talk show
That's
host?
right. Oh, yeah, maybe it was Assange.
Yeah, Assange, yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Jimmy
Free Julian Assange.
Right, the TAB Good Punt this week, we've got the $100 bonus bet. What's quite good about if you go to the TAB and go to the World Cup, Rugby World Cup hub, you can go power plays for the entire tournament. And there's some actually good options there. Like at least 2 Southern Hemisphere teams to make the semi-finals is paying $175.
That's pretty good.
Isn't that a dead set? You've
Money
got,
for jam.
You've got South Africa, Australia, New Zealand, Argentina. Is Japan Southern Hemisphere? That's Southern Hemisphere.
No, Samoa.
Somewhere on the, yeah.
Tonga?
Tonga, Fiji.
Fiji?
Just two of them.
Fiji?
Just 2 of them to make the semis. Anyway, I thought that was a good bet. But
That put $1 million on it. That's a surefire.
yeah, that's what I would have thought.
Uruguay?
Anyway.
So who do they think is going to be in the semi-finals? England, France, Ireland,
Wales.
Scotland, Wales.
Wales.
Yeah.
Wales aren't going to.
Oh, well,
Wales aren't going to make it out of their pool.
Oh, they
Georgia?
reckon 1 will make it, but they said at least 2, and it's 175.
Is Namibia north or south?
South. That's south. But they've got some good options, and the one I've chosen, which I think is quite good, it's paying $13. It's Scott Barrett or Dane Coles to receive a red card during the entire World Cup.
Oh, this Scott Barrett loves a red card.
Yeah, but the thing is, everyone says, look, he'll be cautious after that red card, but he is such a weapon around the breakdown that I don't think he just blows people out.
He doesn't have a choice.
No, he has to blow them out, and he'll get caught again, probably putting his head on someone else's head.
Yeah.
And he'll get red card.
Unfairly.
Dane Coles is an outsider. I mean, I would have just put it on Scott Barrett to receive a red card, but they've thrown Dane Coles in there as well.
Dane Coles might just go full ape and start punching people.
Go full
Full fuck
apo.
it.
Yeah, it's true.
He has. There's a hothead part to
Element to him. Yeah,
Element to
certainly.
him.
I just think that this is one of those things that the TAB do. They know what they're doing, and they are baiting people into, geez, these 2 guys are hotheads. Why don't you jump on there at $13?
That's what they're doing.
Got me in.
Yeah.
Got me. It's a $1,300
100%.
return for $100. But go to the power plays and the hub. There's some really ones that I think that is definitely happening.
Do you know what that terrifies me about the Rugby World Cup? Because red cards are kind of random now.
Yeah.
You know, and so when you've taken tent out of it, so it's not just hotheads that get red cards, and we're not looking in a position. And I know I'm doing the chicken licking thing again, but we can't afford to lose Scott Barrett.
No,
you know
we can't, particularly with Tupuvai and
Brody Retallick.
Brody Retallick. Frizzell's injured.
What if we lost Richie Moanga to just some head contact that in the ear or something that he didn't know about, that that had nothing to do with him? That's a real factor in a World Cup in 2023, isn't it?
Yeah, they love the cards, and
they love them.
It's going to be quite
100%.
nerve-wracking because you know how they give the yellow and they can upgrade it to red.
Yeah.
And like we'll be like relying on a $1,300 upgrade. So we'll be sitting here going, "Get a yellow card." Scott Barrett will get a yellow card, and they'll be reviewing the red and be like, "Come on."
I will say that is one of the most exciting ways to win a bet. I was just looking through the TAB highlights from this season, and one of the ones that we won was 2 yellow cards to be awarded in a match.
Yeah.
And the second yellow card, when he called the players over, we were just like, oh,
It's the way to go.
Yeah.
It's the way
Betting
to
on
go.
cards. Well,
yeah.
It must be paying nothing for one yellow card in a game.
Well, I think there is a bet where every single team to receive a yellow card, at least a yellow card.
Yeah, that's a given.
This is playing poker at this point.
Yeah, it's good. But check it out.
Another great thing about the bet that you've picked here is if we have a red card awarded to the All Blacks, we make money. So it's like if a bad thing happens to our team, then we make money. I like these bets.
Yeah, that's happiness insurance.
It is happiness. Righto, let's get into wide on of the week. What gave you a wide on, Matt Heath, in the world of sport? Are your Dodgers still killing it? Are they choking yet?
What's the opposite? What's a de-shrinker?
A wide on.
Yeah, well, would it kill you if you're making $20 million a year? And I'm talking to you, Urias, starting pitcher for the Dodgers, Julio Urias. Do you really need to beat your wife up in public and get banned from the game forever at a Major League Soccer match? I mean, is that like you're making the money and you're a crucial part of the starting rotation? Could you just not beat your wife up? And he beat her up once, and they gave him a pass. They let him back in.
Well, then they've told him, you're sweet to do it again, then basically is what they're doing there.
Oh,
yeah. Well, it would be better now if they just got rid of him at that point. And
and did he do
it? Like I know domestic violence is an issue, so I'm taking a very selfish approach to this. But what are you doing, man? Just what would it take to make someone happy? The guy is worth tens and tens and tens of millions of dollars. He's at a Major League Soccer game, allegedly, in a beautiful hospitality area as a special guest. And he has a few too many drinks and loses his fucking mind, and he's now gone. His career is over. And then for the rest of his life, he's a young man. He's going to be going...
He's blown that 20 mil as well, isn't he? That 20 mil's gone.
Yeah, because this is one of the ones because the Dodgers are currently paying millions and millions and millions and millions of dollars a year to Trevor Bauer, who had some pretty aggressive sex with a woman and now plays in Japan. But because it was just an allegation thing and there was no court case, they have to pay him. So the Dodgers pay him $15 million a year to play for another team.
Just to go away.
They don't want... Everyone's disgusted by him. You're a revolty individual. We don't want you anywhere near Dodger Stadium.
That's the Matt Lodge approach from the Warriors.
But with him, it's like, could you just have normal, respectful sex, please? Could you?
Yeah.
Would it kill you?
Oh, God.
Like, seriously? Would it kill you not to beat your wife up?
Major League Baseball, what's going on? You need to reassess your fandom.
They can't even blame that one on head knocks. They don't get hit in the head.
No.
They're just pieces of shit.
It's just a couple of pieces of shit, like with so much money.
That's what does it, maybe.
Yeah.
You just turn into a piece of crap with your money.
To be fair, Trevor Bauer's killing it in Japan. He's a superstar over there.
Does he play for the Swallows? The Tokyo Swallows, which are my favourite team.
No, he doesn't play for them. Who does he play for? I forget their name. Something like that. It's like the Swans or something.
I went and watched the game of the Tokyo Swallows, and they're a Japanese crowd. I mean, you can't not buy a beer every 5 seconds from a girl who goes around with a backpack and a hose.
Oh.
But to celebrate home runs, they all put umbrellas up and spin the umbrella. So the whole crowd just turns into like a spinny wheel thing.
They're the best over there. When the what were they called? The Sunwolves, when they were in the Super Rugby, they're the best merch, they're the best kit. They were hilarious.
What gave you a wide on Manaia Stewart in the sporting week?
I know we're going to talk about it shortly, but to be honest, not a whole lot. The Warriors obviously lost. There was no rugby union that I gave a shit about on this week.
Yep.
So the wide on for me was the World Series of Kiwi Pong.
Oh, the Pro-Am.
That we took part in on the weekend. And obviously, mixed bag of results.
For us, yes.
Yeah, well, actually quite a consistent bag of losses. But the one game that we did win in spectacular fashion, I've spoken about it ad nauseum, and I'll speak about it again. You bounced the ball into one cup. I threw the ball, 2 boys, 1 cup, into the top of your ball.
Yeah.
Triggered an explosion that wrestled the victory off a team that was so stoned they didn't even know that we'd won. But, I knew we weren't going to win the whole contest, and we'll talk about the people that did very shortly, but... I just wanted to have that moment. We spoke about firing some shots here, not being afraid, being fearless, bringing Bazball to Kiwi Pong.
We needed that moment,
and we did it, and we had that moment. And one day I'll tell my grandkids about that.
Yeah, it was. To be honest, and looking back on it, and I've seen footage of it, because that when you play beer pong and you play Kiwi Pong, the bounce, you bounce it first and then into the cup. Yeah, you get rid of 3 cups, and it's a shot that doesn't often get away with because you're allowed to bat it away. As an opposition, you can smack it away with your hand. So a lot of teams are alert to it. And looking back at the footage, the two guys we were playing were so stoned that they were dancing behind the table.
They weren't looking at all.
They weren't looking at all. So
their girlfriends were in the corner.
Yeah.
And they were just looking at them.
Yeah, they were just going like
As
like this. and so the bounce, it's taken the shine off a little bit for me looking retrospectively around how easy that was.
You still had to hit that shot, though.
True.
You still had to hit that shot.
And
That's
then you
a hard
followed
shot.
it in, and so it went donk, donk, and then you went donk on top. We got rid of 4 cups. It was a 4-cup swing.
In some circles, when that happens, it's every adjacent cup is done. That would have just about been the game there for us.
Sometimes you just got to do one good thing.
Yeah,
that's it. And you can dine on that.
That's it.
It was a good thing. That was good.
Yeah,
it was
a
good.
good
It
thing.
actually,
That's good.
because if we hadn't done that, we would have had a really shit afternoon.
But the story of who won the Kiwi Pong, and can I just say, what a great tournament it was.
Yep.
When I came in, I was doing a ZB show, and I came down and walked into the iHeart Lounge where you were running the finals, and it was like nothing I've ever seen before. It was like a cockfight. It was like a It was like a third world country cockfight in there
with lasers,
with laser lights and. It was such a cauldron of activity, but there needs to be a movie made about the story of the people that went through and won.
Yeah, we're going to talk about it in the top of plays of the week. They feature in the top of plays of the week. But
what a story.
Attendance required this week. It's All Blacks France,
Absolutely.
Opening World Cup.
And the Wales.
7 o'clock on Saturday morning. Live and free. It's free. You don't pay anything on iHeartRadio and Radio Hauraki. Waz Panthers, 6 p.m. Saturday, Sky Sport 9. It's brought to you by 4 and 20 Pies. But now, let's get into it. It's time for...
Toppa Plays of the Week. Brought to you by Leader NZ's Lasagna Toppa.
All right, coming in at number 3, a great New Zealander in Rangiora. I don't know if you saw this. I think it might have been at Bunnings in Rangiora. He was mucking around. He had a head like Murray Deaker, and he decided as a joke to put the plunger on his head, and he was running around like a Teletubby with the plunger on his head, and he was wobbling his head around. But then he tried to finish the scene and then tried to pull the plunger out, and just the handle came out. So the plunger was still stuck on his head.
Yeah.
And he could not get it off.
It was one of the all-time shithousery gags that you'll ever see. He's in the butt. I mean, because every time you see a plunger, you just look for the nearest bald man. But to actually see it executed so flawlessly. But what I don't understand is how come the handle was built to come off? It came off so easily.
Yeah, well, it's just a wooden baton inserted into a rubber sleeve, really.
Yeah, but I mean,
what's security like around Murray Deaker's new podcast? Because that would be a hell of a coup if one of us got in there and got a plunger stuck on the top of his head. Are they filming it?
The Super Mario attack.
What would be good is if you dressed up like a cleaner. So you came in with a vacuum, and you've got in a little kind of harness on the side. You got the plunger, and you're cleaning in behind him, and you just right behind Murray go bloop 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 bloop. Woohoo!
And then he's got the plunger stuck on his head. Okie dokie, and you just cruise off out of there in your go-kart.
Oh my god!
We need to launch the Super Mario attack.
Because the great thing is you can get into through any security dressed as a cleaner. I mean, movies have shown us that. So just go here. There's a bit of a problem in the toilets upstairs.
A high vis and a plunger. No one's asking you a question. No one's going to look at you and be like,
they're like, well, I can't hear you, mate. Well, the toilets are blocked. If you want to have 25 ton of sewage pouring down the elevator, then that's up to you, mate.
Yeah.
But I think your superintendent wouldn't want that to happen, okay? So either you can let me in, I don't care, it's no difference to you, either let me in, or you deal with the shit tsunami, okay, mate?
Yeah. It's not like they're going to be like,
he lets you in.
All right, you can go in as long as you don't stick that plunger to Murray Deaker's head, all right? And that's exactly what we're doing.
Okay. He goes, I thought you might.
We need to launch the Murray Deaker. It just snapped off straight away. I'd like to know how he got that off.
And Murray Deaker would be like, actually, I thought you might do that. When I saw you.
When I saw you,
I actually thought you might do that.
Okay. All right.
Okay,
give me a plunger.
Number 2. I think we should start selling them. If you can give us some more plunger gags, forget up the wires. I want some plunger activity.
Yeah, we'll sell them on the shop.
Number 2 on the lasagna Toppa Player of the Week, umpire eating shit in county cricket, trying to avoid a straight drive deflection. Unfortunately, that's the music in the background of the T20 he was playing at. But there's something ungainly about umpires trying to get out of the way of balls. It's like they're not ready for it, and they always fall over. They can never sway. They can never be like a batsman.
No.
Just
No.
do this or just kind of in and out of the ball. They just have to make massive tits on themselves
They're
doing
so
it.
rigid. They're so like unathletic. Here's a video of him here just going over backwards. But they're so rigid and there's so much standing around that when they all of a sudden have to move, they're like, what the fuck?
It was actually so far away from him as
It was
well.
nowhere near him.
It was nowhere near him.
All he had to do was this. This is all he had to do with his left foot.
Yeah.
That.
I think he was anticipating the fielder throwing it in, maybe. I don't know.
It's it's to the left of the batsman.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, but so who's our man that runs the Yu-Gi-Oh! Dueling deck thing on his arm?
Oxenfeld?
Is he Kettleborough? Kettleborough? Or
Has
it was
he-
Oxenfeld.
Has he ever deflected a ball with that thing?
No.
No.
It's
I
so
reckon
frustrating.
We need to set a deadline. Be like, right, mate, you've got 5 more games with this thing. If you don't use it, get rid of that thing.
Because he holds it there in case it comes to him, and then he does the...
As if he's going to have the fucking reflexes to do that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
If you could move that fast, you wouldn't be getting hit by the ball. So don't
And
worry
a
about it.
ball coming back at you that's like smashed straight
Yeah.
at you, and you put that thing up, that is gonna F you up.
It's going to
You
explode
better
into
get
a
out of the
million
way.
pieces. He needs safety glasses on behind that thing.
Well, the big bash umpires wear helmets now. They just
Do
wear
they?
helmets. Yeah, I've seen them wear helmets in the CPL as well.
All right, then. If they're going to wear helmets, I need them to umpire from silly mid on so that they can see it.
Well, they can... I think they've... I mean...
Yeah, Spruce Oxenford.
Yeah, I think... Yeah, that's the guy. Yeah, he's tried to patent it. He's just trying to make
He's
a bit
trying
of
to
money.
get.
As if anyone else is going to buy that thing.
It's the stupidest looking thing.
Yeah, that is ridiculous.
Oh, yeah. It's a big
It's- and so you pull
perspex
it up
sun
and
wheel.
Cover your face. Like,
Yeah.
that would be the stupidest thing to do. If you see it coming towards you and you just stand there and take it like a man with
like
your shield.
Captain America.
You're like Captain America. That ball is going to smash it and punch you right in the face.
Yeah, look, I think half the reason why they're making them wear helmets now is so they can attach cameras to them.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, right,
I think that's...
It kind of makes sense for them to wear helmets.
Yeah, especially their reflexes are dangerously slow as well.
Yeah.
Well, that's the thing. Yeah.
Look, another day we should talk about, they've got to get rid of the square leg umpire. It does absolutely nothing.
Yeah, absolutely nothing now.
Yeah.
It adjudicates the full toss, beamer, and the bouncer. That's it.
But goes upstairs for a new run out. So
Yeah, but they
stay upstairs.
Yeah, exactly. Why don't the umpire upstairs do the full toss and the bouncer?
Yeah. Seeing they've got the camera on there for the run-outs the whole time, then just click it.
Yeah, just like that'll halve the ICC's cost.
Is it just a rest spot now, I guess?
Yeah, maybe.
So you can concentrate, because you can probably...
that's a good
when I've
point.
umpired, I can't even concentrate for one ball, let alone the whole over.
It's
a breather.
It is moral support as well.
Yeah.
Because you're like, the other thing is, mate, how many balls I've got left? You go, I think there's 2.
Yeah.
I think there's a bit of that going on.
Oh, we'll bring another one in then.
When I'm umpiring, this was like, remember to remember the balls, and then it's 2 balls down, and they're like,
shit,
fuck, I forgot to think about the fucking balls.
Well, Jason Hoyt let a 14-ball overthrow one day because he lost count. No wides, no balls. He just lost count.
Yeah. That can happen. It can get away with you.
Yeah, it can. You can lose focus. But the number one Toppa player of the week, and we referenced it before, it is the L team. It's Liam and Libby at the Kiwi Pong Pro-Am. These are 2 people who did not know each other at the start of the day. They had come along to watch and support the various other teams. Libby, in fact, was there to watch her husband, who was a former champion.
Yep.
And a team pulled a no-show on the Pro-Am, and so they rounded up whoever they could, and they said to Libby, you want to play with this guy Liam? She's like, yeah, sure. They had no costume or no uniform like everyone else. They called themselves the L team. They made their way through the preliminaries and through the quarters. They were in the semi-final, and they were up against it in the semi-final, and the semi-final team tipped their entire tray over by accident.
That's
trying to block a... they were trying to block a bounce pass, or they were trying to block something, and they went and they just swiped their entire cup off the table, so they lost. So the L team went through to the final and dominated Sleaze's Palace in the final, and Libby and Liam won a trip to Bali together to compete in an international tournament in Bali. But as we found out, Liam is an apprentice to Libby's husband's best mate, who was in the team as well.
Yeah.
So it's a tangled up story.
What a wicked web you weave.
Yes, it was interesting. But
So now one of the guys...
And Libby wasn't a player, really, though, was she?
No, she was a supporter. She was just there to support her husband.
No, but she wasn't. She played it much herself?
Oh, I think by osmosis, because apparently the husband does a lot of practice.
Training.
Yeah.
So now you've got the situation where one bloke's apprentice is taking his mate's wife to Bali.
Yeah.
And it's like, how is this one going to work
a
out?
plot for a romantic comedy?
Yeah.
It sounds like it. But also Libby, the first female to ever win a Kiwi Pong tournament in New Zealand, which was a good story. And she actually hadn't got any cups in the final. Liam was on a heater. I think he hit 5 in a row. Boom, 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 boom. He was on a heater. And they had 1 cup left. I think Sleaze's Palace had maybe 3. And and it was funny because you watch the video. She leans back to Liam and goes, I've got to do one. Got to do one thing. And the crowd were going, we're chanting, and she shushed the crowd. She went, shh, shh, shh. She dipped it in some water and then just went, cold as ice, plop, straight in.
Oh, how good.
Set match.
Yeah.
How freaking good.
Yeah.
And then the place exploded like a Mexican cockfight.
Yeah. And I talked to, we all went up to the pub where they wouldn't play our commentary after that. And
Empire Tavern.
Shout out to the Empire Tavern. And I was talking to the guy after the event, and I was just like, I mean, for the next year, you can say you are the best beer pong player in the country.
Yeah.
And he said, well, he's got plans to move to Sydney in the next few months. I was like, well, you need to rock up there and be like, I cleared the division. I ran out of contenders to play beer pong against over in New Zealand, so I had to cross the ditch.
You'd stick it on your CV, wouldn't you?
Oh, 100%.
New Zealand Pro-Am Kiwi Pong player.
And like I've said before, how's that Monday morning on the worksite when he shows up as the apprentice and he beat his boss at the beer pong tournament that he'd been training for?
And then partnered with his boss's mate to win it.
Yeah.
His boss's mate's wife to win it.
He's going to be getting some of the more difficult and boring jobs.
Yeah, on site. Look, if he was a smart apprentice, he would gift that
the trophy.
He'd gift that position on the Bali trip to his boss, and his boss would pass it to his mate. And then,
I think that's probably what's going to happen.
Yeah, I think so. Or maybe some cash will exchange hands. Who knows? Hey, thanks for joining us. That is the agenda. Full length. Join us tomorrow for the Friday Daily as a preview for the weekend. See you later.
You've been listening to the ACC's Agenda podcast. For more episodes, subscribe on iHeartRadio or wherever you get your podcasts.